And hello, one and all, and welcome to this video review slash rant for last night's Survivor Series pay-per-view. Last night's pay-per-view took place in Atlanta, Georgia. I myself, I was interested in watching the Survivor Series pay-per-view. I thought there were several aspects of the show that I was looking forward to. The two semifinal matches, seeing who would advance into the finals for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Also, I was intrigued with the Wyatt family taking on the Brothers of Destruction, and a couple other matches, Paige versus Charlotte, and Dolph Ziggler versus Tyler Breeze. So, overall, I had good expectations for this show. But what can I say? This show, I just felt like, was a severe disappointment. It was very predictable. And in my opinion, this has been one of the weakest WWE pay-per-views I have watched this year, if not the weakest. I just felt like, while there was some good stuff on this show, it wasn't enough to save the show from, in my opinion, being a D show. If I would grade this show, I will give it a D show, a D rating. So with that, we're going to take a look at what took place on this show, and I'll give you my overall thoughts and opinions about how I felt about this. So with that, we started with our pre-show match. I did not watch this match. Apparently, we had a traditional Survivor Series match with Bo Dallas, The Miz, and The Ascension and Stardust teaming up to take on the Dudley Boys, Neville, Titus O'Neil, and a returning Goldust. That was a surprise to see. And I also heard that Cesaro has a shoulder issue, and he might be out 4 to 6 months, which is a shame because I'm, a huge fan of Cesaro, the King of Swing, and it's just another blow to the main roster. I mean, we already have Orton out, Cena's away filming his fitness show, Rollins hurt, Lesnar part-time, and now Cesaro. That's such a shame because he looked really good coming out of his match against Reigns on Monday night. So yeah, this match, apparently the only guy from the Dudley Boys team to be eliminated, the babyfaces, was Neville. Neville was eliminated by The Miz. Freaking love Neville. Former NXT champion. Talented guy. But ever since he's been called up to the main roster, I feel like they've done absolutely nothing with him. And then he's eliminated by The Miz in this joke of a match on the pre-show. I mean, seriously, what was the point of bringing him up from NXT if you're not going to have anything planned for them? For him, specifically. It just frustrates me. The only guy to be eliminated. I'm sorry, when I heard that, I just shook my head. I'm like, wow. The man that creative forgot. So, the Dudley Boys were able to get the win after they pinned Stardust. So, yeah. That was the pre-show. Did you care? No, because I certainly didn't. So, moving on, we go to the main card. And before this, as we all know, there were these rumored threats of attacking the Survivor Series pay-per-view. However, nothing happened, and a nice way to kick off the show, they had Lillian Garcia sing the national anthem. That's kind of a way to say, F you, ISIS. You're not going to... It was a nice way to show the defiance, in the face of fear. You didn't want to cancel the pay-per-view, and I feel like this was the right way to start it. So the show got off to a good start, and we had our first match of the evening. It was the semifinals match between Roman Reigns and Alberto Del Rio. It wasn't a bad match, actually. It was one of the better matches that I saw on this show tonight. The only problem, in my opinion, that hurt this match was that we pretty much knew that Reigns was going to win, no doubt, this match, and go to the finals. So that, I felt, hurt the match for me because it was predictable. You knew for a shadow of a doubt there was no chance in hell that Alberto Del Rio was going to beat Roman Reigns. And as we all saw, Reigns was able to hit the spear after Del Rio had the cross arm breaker locked in on the ropes. Reigns was able to break out of it. Del Rio came back over the ropes, and Reigns hit the spear for the 3 count, and he advanced to the finals. So it was an okay opening match. And we had a backstage promo. It was between Reigns being interviewed by JoJo. Dean Ambrose came over. Said he's got his match up next against Owens, and Reigns wished him good luck and said, if we meet in the finals, do what we have to. And then Owens came over and interrupted Reigns. And he said tonight it's going to be the Kevin Owens show. And he pretty much belittled Roman Reigns and said, I'm going to go out there and beat your best friend. So I liked Owens here. I thought he was, just being that arrogant, egotistical, smug heel. I love Kevin Owens. They really need to do more with him. Not have him be just a typical chicken shit heel. He should be the prize fighter. He's fighting, for his family to put money on that table. And he'll do whatever he has to do. He took out his best friend Sami Zayn on NXT. I want to see more of that character than how they've been booking him on the main roster, just like every other heel. They need to do more with Kevin Owens. He is a great talent. So I like that backstage promo between Reigns and Owens. Then we had our second match, another match that I enjoyed on this show. And it was Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens in another semifinal matchup. And the crowd, the whole night the crowd seemed off. I don't know if that was because of the ISIS threats. They were worried, so they didn't, that kind of dampened the mood in the arena, whatnot. But throughout a large majority of the show, the crowd was just really dead. And at times during this match, I could notice it, and I was like, man, I really wish they were getting more into this match, because I thought Owens and Ambrose were having a pretty good match. The pace picked up from here, and then one nice spot was when Owens threw Ambrose face first into the announce table, and that was a good spot. It looked like it really did some damage to Ambrose. And then another spot in this match that I enjoyed was when Ambrose was able to counter Owens' pop-up powerbomb into a Frankensteiner, or with a Frankensteiner, so that was really nice. And eventually Owens, he attempted to hit the pop-up powerbomb again, but Ambrose was able to hit Dirty Deeds, and he got the victory, 3 count, to advance to the finals to meet his best friend, Roman Reigns, for the WWE Championship. So I thought this was a really solid match, and it was probably my favorite match of the night. It was a match I was looking forward to. We've never seen these guys fight before. I feel like they could have a tremendous feud for that Intercontinental Championship. So I hope that's something that WWE considers down the line. So yeah. Then we had a very low point in the show. It was this traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match, but the thing was, they just threw it out there. There was no build to it whatsoever, and they just had they had the Usos teaming up with Ryback and the Lucha Dragons to take on the New Day, Sheamus and King Barrett. But it's just these guys in this random Survivor Series match thrown together, no build, so you really don't have a reason. Why should we care about this? And it showed throughout the match. I didn't care. I like all these guys. I feel like they're underutilized. Give them a reason to fight. That's why you have the 30 members on this creative team. Can you not come up with storylines for each and everyone on your roster? You used to do that. I don't want to, harp back on the Attitude Era. It was a great time. Yes, it had its faults. But it seemed like back then, everybody had a purpose. Everybody had a storyline. Mid-card, lower mid-card, obviously the main event guys. And there was progression. You could see guys moving up the card. But now it's just like nobody has any momentum whatsoever. And it pisses me off. Perfect example. What was the point of this match? I mean, the only thing that I can remember, nothing really from the match itself, but was the promo that the New Day cut before it. They were coming out with King Barrett and Sheamus and New Day. They were talking about Xavier Woods' hair. He got this new perm, and it was funny looking, and I was laughing my ass off. And then they badmouth the Atlanta sports teams, and then Sheamus had this wonderful quote if you mean by wonderful, you mean completely god-awful. He was like, and we're going to get jiggy with it, or something stupid like that tonight. And everybody paused. There was like, he was just being like that typical, white guy. That's what they were trying to make him out to be. This loser. And Michael Cole even made fun of him on commentary. And then at the end of the night, the same guy that said, let's get jiggy with it tonight, and acting like a loser, an idiot, and he's your fearsome heel that's aligned with the authority. I mean, and the way this match played out made Sheamus look like an idiot. I mean, the New Day, after Big E, got hurt or whatever, was trying to sell his injury, the New Day took him to the back, and that left Sheamus, Barrett was eliminated earlier in the match, so this left Sheamus being the last guy remaining from his team, because the New Day never came back out. I don't know what the hell happened to them, because they were never eliminated, but they still left. So, Sheamus was left in there alone, and he had a super kick from Jey Uso, and Ryback, shell-shocked, put him away. So your WWE champion, by the end of the night, lost in this match. But I guess because wins and losses don't matter on the main roster anymore, they think we're so stupid that we're not going to remember that Sheamus lost in the same night that it became champion. I hate how they do this with Mr. Money in the Bank. And shout out to the Solo Monster and his Sound Off podcast. He pointed out that Money in the Bank holders have this precedent of losing the match that they're scheduled to have on the pay-per-view, and then they cash in and win the Money in the Bank contract in the same night. It's happened with Rollins. Now it's just happened with Sheamus. I think Edge, Daniel Bryan. They have these guys lose as Money in the Bank, and they think because, this will all be negated because they win the world title. Well, I still think you need to make, even though they have that briefcase, they still need to look strong. Sorry about that. But as I was saying, you need to make these Money in the Bank contract holders look strong. And I feel like that is something that they haven't been doing, and it's a predictable crutch a creative can rely on, in which they have these guys look like losers until they cash in and win the world title. So that's something that I had an issue with in this match. You had Sheamus lose against the Usos, the Lucha Dragons, and Ryback, and yet later on in the night he cashes in and is your new WWE champion aligned with the authority. This match was nothing special. So, moving on, we had our Divas title match between Charlotte and Paige. I felt like I was really looking forward to this match going into it. As we all know, there was the controversial angle with Paige, belittling Reed Flair, Charlotte's deceased brother. But during the promo package, they chose to not bring that up at all, so it makes us wonder, did you really even need to do that in the first place, especially considering the amount of controversy it caused, with them not asking Ric Flair or his wife, Elizabeth Flair, and how Charlotte seemed uncomfortable delivering the promo. It just seemed unnecessary, and it was further highlighted by the fact that they didn't even mention it in the promo package before the match. So Charlotte and Paige went out there. I thought that, they were getting enough time. The match went 14 minutes. However, I felt what really hurt this match was the crowd. The crowd was so dead during this match. I mean, you could hear a pin drop. And I don't know. It sucks because I feel like these two women, they could go out there. And they had, I thought, what was a good match. But what hurt it was the crowd was not invested into it at all. And therefore, the way it comes across on TV is like, well, if they don't care, then why should I care? Now, I still enjoyed the match. I thought Charlotte and Paige put on a good match, but I know that they could have even better matches. Hopefully they get the opportunity to do that. And Charlotte was able to get the victory by locking in the figure 8 for the win. So Charlotte retains her Divas Championship. I still see this feud continuing. I would just like to see the women's division on the main roster booked in a more serious manner. Allow them to go, more off the cuff. Give them the ability to close out a Raw. I actually did like how the contract signing segment ended Raw. I just didn't like how it was executed. I thought it could have been done better. But just, allow these women to shine as individuals. We want Sasha Banks. Where is she? She wasn't even on this show. I have no idea what they're doing with her. One of the most talented female athletes that they have, and they have done nothing with her. You have Natalya, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, Paige. You have women that can elevate this division. Just the way they have been booked with creative has not occurred in a manner that has allowed these women to thrive. So I thought this was a good match. It was just hurt by the fact that the crowd could give two shits. So after this, we had Tyler Breeze taking on Dolph Ziggler. Once again, I felt like it was an okay match. I'm sure these guys could have a better match, but the crowd really wasn't. They just didn't care again. Another match where the crowd was silent. I thought Breeze and Ziggler, were having some pretty good back and forth action. The right guy won. Tyler Breeze got the win with the Unprettier, so I'm glad to see. I hope they don't mess up Tyler Breeze because, while everybody may not like the gimmick, I think it's pretty good. It's something different, and I feel like he could be a good asset to this company, but I'm worried that he'll turn into the route of another Fandango or Adam Rose character, where initially he's pushed pretty strong, but then after a while, he'll be mid-card fodder. And I hope that doesn't happen because this guy really is talented. He's a great athlete. He's got a pretty good character, something different. And him and Dolph could have a good feud if they allow this to continue and have future matches down the line. I think this could be just the beginning. I know they can have better, So for what the match was, it was okay. I was expecting more, but this match was hurt by the crowd really not being into this match at all. So that was that. And then we had our tag team match. We had Kane make his entrance, and then The Undertaker had the spectacular entrance, with the giant door open and the flames and the gong hit, and they showed the different iterations on the Titantron in the door of the Undertaker throughout all the years, and the burning crosses on either side. Really cool visual. The best part of this whole match, the whole overall thing, was the Undertaker's entrance. So yeah, and then the Wyatts made their entrance. I forgot to say before this. So Strowman gets in the ring before the bell rings, and he tries to attack Kane and The Undertaker, who have made their way to the ring. And Kane and Undertaker just lay him out. Excuse me, that was Eric Rowan, not Braun Strowman. But Rowan tries to get in the ring, they take him out. We don't see him for the rest of the night. So it was... I thought it was supposed to be Wyatt and Strowman. I thought that's what they announced on SmackDown. However, it was Wyatt and Harper, so whatever. Throughout a majority of this match, the Brothers of Destruction really had the upper hand of the Wyatt family. I mean, I felt like this would have been a good opportunity, even though it is the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker. Massive amounts of respect for him. One of the greatest of all times. Can't take that away. However, I would have had the Wyatt family go over on Kane and The Undertaker. If I was booking, I would have had this should have been the traditional 4-on-4 Survivor Series elimination match with Sting. You could have had Lesnar or Daniel Bryan teaming up with Taker and Kane against the Wyatt family and had this great elimination match. Instead, what we had here was a standard, decent tag match. I mean, the one nice spot that I can remember is when Kane and The Undertaker chokeslam Strowman through the announce table. That was nice. But it was really Kane and Taker dominating the Wyatt family. The Wyatts didn't really get too much offense in. And then eventually, when they did, Bray did a spider walk over, both Kane and Taker were laid out. And then they both sat up. And then they gave a double choke slam to Harper and Bray Wyatt. And then Wyatt rolled out of the ring. And the Undertaker, Tombstone, Luke Harper to get the victory. So After all that buildup of the Wyatts, they now have the powers of the Undertaker. They've abducted them, and God knows what they did to them. It's just like they had Kane and the Undertaker win, and who's going to be there the next night? I love Kane and Taker. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting them down, but this was a good opportunity to elevate the Wyatt family to new heights. And it was a missed opportunity because we all remember Taker beat Bray at Mania 31. So I felt like, oh, okay, this is a good way for Taker and Kane to help put over the Wyatt family. But no. And I felt like this was a missed opportunity because this was just a really standard tag match that I truly won't remember. So then we move on to our WWE World Heavyweight Championship Tournament Finals. This was Roman Reigns facing off against Dean Ambrose. And I was really, really, really looking forward to this match. And don't get me wrong, these guys were having a good match. But the problem was, it was way too damn short. I mean, I think it went under 10 minutes. I know that. I don't know if somebody has the actual time out there. But this should have been at least 15 minutes, if not 20. I felt like these guys were hurt by time because they were really rushing and then going early into their finishing maneuvers. And the way that this match, it ended, it was just Reigns hit the spear on Ambrose out of nowhere. And, all my friends that I had over to watch, we were like, whoa, that's it. And Reigns got the victory. He hit Ambrose with the spear. And he became your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And then afterwards, the confetti fell. They had fireworks. And to me, it was like they were trying to create the moment when Daniel Bryan won at SummerSlam. And then Triple H came out. He's all like clapping and whatnot. And then he goes to shake Reigns' hand. But Reigns hits him with the spear. And then Sheamus comes out. And we're all like, oh no. Don't tell me this is going to be. And Sheamus comes down. He hits a bro kick on Reigns. Reigns kicks out. Well, he hits the bro kick. Then he cashes in his money in the bank. The match was official. And then Reigns still has a little life left in him. And then Sheamus hits him with the second bro kick. And he is now your new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And apparently is the Authority's new Golden Boy. So there was no Dean Ambrose heel turn. No Roman Reigns heel turn. Instead, they had Sheamus win the title. And if they think that Sheamus is going to be the answer to dwindling ratings on Raw, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. This left me very disappointed, and I felt like the crowd just couldn't give two shits, and I don't blame them. This was a terrible, terrible way to end this show. And in my eyes, it really hurt the show. I mean, if they, had the balls to have Reigns turn heel and join the Authority, or have, him form his own stable, it would have been different. It would have been, oh man, or even Ambrose turning heel. Wouldn't have him join the Authority, but you could have done something like that. But instead, of all the options, they had Sheamus cash in and win. Mr. Let's get jiggy with it. Remember that line from earlier tonight. And he lost earlier in the pay-per-view. But we're supposed to forget all that. And now here we go into the great reign of Sheamus as WWE Champion. I, for one, am not looking forward to this. As of now, I'm not watching Raw. I just have no interest after this ending to this pay-per-view. I mean, I just felt like this company had the potential to put on a good show. And what they gave us, in my opinion, was a D show. This was a D show. There were some good matches. Like I said, Reigns and Del Rio was okay. Ambrose and Owens was good. The Divas match, hurt by the crowd, but I still thought they put in a good effort. Ziggler and Breeze, I have to give that one another watch, but I enjoyed it. And Ambrose and Reigns could have been really good if they were given more time, and this ending just hurt the whole show. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Survivor Series. Might be taking a break from watching Raw the next month, because I don't know if I could bear watching Sheamus as WWE Champion. And I might just give you retro Raw reviews instead from, say, 1998, from the Attitude Era. So that might be something that I'm looking to do for this channel in order to change things up, if I'm not going to give you my weekly Raw reviews. But I will still be watching NXT. Can't wait for that TakeOver special on December 16th in London. Fucking love NXT. It's awesome. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Survivor Series. Kind of a rant/review. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought of Survivor Series. Please click that like and subscribe button. And thank you for all who watched this video. And with that, I'm out. Have a good day. Have a new day. Peace.